Tonight we're shedding light on a topic that is often left in the shadows, cutting. It involves inflicting physical pain to deal with deep emotional pain. It has consumed the lives of the 6 teenagers you're about to meet. They are all bright and articulate, so why do they do it? To find out, we need to step out of our world and into theirs. One of those places would be a school. That's where we find 17-year-old Caitlin. A junior at Osseo High School, Caitlin loves to sing, laugh, and hang out with friends.
I love you, H-Town.
I love you.
On the outside, she appears strong and confident.
I want to go to Spanish for you, Heidi.
Just like Tim.
Nothing gets me better than art.
The 18-year-old works magic with a can of spray paint and plans to study art therapy in college this fall. But on the inside, both share a secret that has tormented them for years. They cut themselves.
At first it was just like little tiny scratches that were like nothing.
The worst I've ever done it was like 128 at one time, and it's just blood everywhere.
15-year-old Jarrell, 18-year-old Travis, and 19-year-olds Keisha and Brianna are cutters too.
It's on the feet.
All 6 have been helped by Treehouse, a nonprofit organization for at-risk teens, and that's where we sit down to talk about their struggles.
For me, cutting was a way out.
Makes everything else numb, and it's like nothing else matters.
Turning emotional pain into physical pain so that you don't really feel anything.
It's like watching your problems run out, and then you can just kind of wash them or wipe them away and never have to deal with them again.
Where are the places that kids usually cut?
Usually it's like the wrist or the forearm, but I've heard of people cutting their stomachs and their thighs and legs.
Behind their ear, or down underneath their arms, or like the back of their knees, top of your feet, just random places that people wouldn't normally look.
Do you understand why it's confusing to people? How it just almost doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying that hurting yourself can feel good.
Emotional pain for me is way worse than physical pain.
I was 12. I had seen somebody who had done it.
Me being the quiet type, didn't have like very many good, a lot of friends. So I felt I wasn't liked by anybody, and it was really tough because I felt like I was alone.
I started cutting myself with plastic. I started cutting myself with scissors, pins, anything that can hurt me.
My parents never paid attention to me. I was just kind of there.
A lot of people hated me and stopped liking me because I wasn't the tiniest person around. And so it was just like, why can't I be good enough?
How would you feel after you cut?
It was almost like the most amazing high. You're like, I solved my problem. Let's go play video games.
Would you say it's compulsive or addictive?
Addictive.
It's highly addictive.
If you do it once, you're going to want to do it again.
Do you find that adults, whether it's parents or teachers or people closer to my age, just say, just stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
You can tell them that, but unless you're helping them through the problem and figuring out what the root of the problem is, they're not going to do it.
And even those who've stopped can slip.
I have a confession to make. Sadly, sometime this past year, I cut.
An argument with her boyfriend left Keisha devastated.
So I was punishing myself. I found his sharpest knife because he keeps, a few knives up, really look cool. I found one, and then I just started cutting away. And it was in the dark, so I didn't know how deep, how long, and I could see blood. I wanted to keep going, but I tried stopping myself. I was shaking so bad, crying. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't even feel myself.
Is it just about having someone listen? If you could just feel safe going to someone and saying, this is what I'm going through.
Half the people said that they would be there, were not.
I think if I had someone who out there loved me and told me that they were there for me, kind of like Treehouse, I never would have started.
I think parents watching this, it's a very scary thing, and all these kids showed us how they hide it, and they get very good at it.
Yeah.
If you think it's going on as a parent, what do you do?
Every week remind kids that they are lovable, capable, and worthwhile, and they are loved without strings, and they are not alone. And I think to find a caring, supportive adult who, maybe your kid can't talk to you, but do you have somebody who won't rat your kid out, but will listen and love on your kid like you would, but they don't have to put them to bed.
That's exactly what you need when you have a problem, is someone who's just there for you. Someone who's not going to judge, someone who will teach, someone who's there to guide you.
So do you think kids just feel so isolated today? Like they just don't have that one person?
You could be the most popular person in the world, but once you isolate yourself in your own mind, you're isolated no matter what. I honestly don't think I'd be alive without Treehouse. I do mean something to people.
Yeah. It was just finally like in my head, like, I don't have to hate myself because I'm so lovable and I can do great things and I am worth people's time.
Good for you. It's so hard to believe you would think you're not lovable. I just can't even imagine you thinking that. That doesn't seem possible.
I'm really proud to say that I can do it and anybody else can do it if I can do it.
So how are the kids doing? At the time of our interview, Tim had not cut in 3 weeks. Caitlin said she'd gone about a month and a half. Darrell and Travis say they are both in the process of trying to quit. Only Brianna and Keisha confidently said they would not cut again. The 6 teens we profiled are not alone in their struggles by any means. Experts say as many as 1 in 5 adolescents engage in some form of self-injury like cutting. We have extended interviews from our story on KARE11.com. Just click on News, then Extras. And tonight we also have volunteers from Treehouse, the organization featured in our story, to help answer any questions you might have. Give them a call at 651-989-5273 or 888-546-8811. They will be here throughout the newscast to take your questions.
It is sad. Clearly, it is frightening for parents. And you don't know if these children are just trying to hurt themselves, or is the end game maybe to even kill themselves?
Suicide, these kids said, and most research shows, is not the end game. It's really an escape mechanism, but it does escalate. So once you start cutting, there's a need to have more cuts, deeper cuts, and more injury inflicted, but suicide not being the ultimate goal.
So the parents just need to get ahead of it.
Love
like
on
you
your
said.
kids, tell them you love them without strings attached, no matter what their performance or what they're doing.
Advice doesn't hurt many facets of life. All righty, let's